Hello and welcome everyone, I am Madals and welcome to another StarCraft 2 England cast. Today guys, I have got an awesome ladder game. It is between Dignitas's Bling in the lower right, and he's playing as the blue Zerg player, which is unusual because those of you who of course watched Dignitas Week a few weeks ago will know the Bling is a Protoss player. Now, ImgHose, who is of course the red Protoss in the top left, is going to be up against him, and I'm really interested to see how Bling plays. And I'm not sure if it is the actual Dignitas Bling, because he's sitting here saying no English, which I definitely know is not the case, because he definitely speaks English. So I'm a little bit confused if it's actually him or not. I will try and, well, I'll send him a message on Battle.net and see whether it is, but it's unlike him to play off race, so we'll wait and see what happens. But anyway, those of you who frequently visit my stream may notice I've moved stuff around down here. I've also put up this awesome picture that the amazing Flash Dave sent me from iSeries, I-47, so that is all pretty cool. But anyway, let's look around. This makes some sense. I've worked out what this is now, why Bling isn't playing there. It is because someone is playing on Bling's account, and I reckon it's from Home Story Cups. So, it's a good question who it is. Apparently it's Symbol. Or so it says. I don't know if that is the case or not, but nonetheless it adds to the confusion. Anyway, let's just watch what happens. So far, of course, we've got the spawning pool on its way down. Very normal, 15 pool. Gateway, assimilator coming down for the Protoss player. It's all to be expected. On Ahana, you quite often see a fast expansion, but you're seeing more and more Protoss players actually go for a gateway opening as opposed to the Forge Fast Expand, which used to be the solid meta game against Zerg players, basically. But anyway, here comes down Bling/Symbol, getting his hatchery after the pull. That's all to be expected. Doesn't need to get this third base, though, super quickly. And that's just due to the fact that this isn't down. And we're about to see that the Overlord is on its way across to come and scout this out. And now it's not seeing a pylon here is going to be the first kind of, hey, what's going on? It's a bit weird that there's no pylon here. Then it's going to see, hang on, there's no wall off. That's, again, a bit more of a safer sign. And if you see a wall off here, you can automatically assume that, well, they're trying to hide something from me. If there isn't a wall off, it's almost certainly going to be a one-gate expansion. See, there's no Nexus either. And that's really everything that you need to know. The Cybercore on its way, the Zealot not being skipped, so that's all perfectly normal. Symbol, as I'm going to call him now, because I think it is Symbol, because he said me Symbol, so guessing that's the case. Anyway, we've got the extractor down here now. We've got the second hatchery there as well, so yeah, all pretty interesting. Nothing too out of the ordinary. The Nexus, obviously, one-gate expansion. Very normal meta, and I love the way the metagame changes every couple of months and what we're seeing happen, and really the pros and cons of each of those. The pylon on its way down now, this Overlord scouting out, just getting a good check. We've got the probe coming over for Hose, just getting a nice little scout out, seeing what is going on. Meanwhile, obviously the one gas up, and the reason that one gas is up before third base is because you scout this. You see that it was a one-gate expansion, so you need speed slightly earlier. So 100 gas is there. Speed should start any second. Start speed. Do it. Just press that button. Press the speed button. There we go. I was literally going to wait until that happened because there was 100 gas, and it's like that's why you're queuing up. The reason you get speed out earlier is exactly to deal with this. Early aggression from a Stalker, two Stalkers, Stalker Zealot, etc. You need it out just ready in order to deal with any kind of poking and prodding, especially from Stalkers. Third base on its way down because that's in response to that expansion, so it's all fine. It came down when about to come down, about 5 minutes, so not even that late, to be honest. Not much later than you normally expect to see it, but now obviously with speed out, that's good news. 6 Zerglings, 8 Zerglings now on their way. The Forge just finishing up for Hose as we speak. Meanwhile, obviously the second gateway coming down. Warp gate tech 3/4 done. It's only 30 seconds away. 16 more Zerglings on their way out. Really getting ready to try and deal with this. Speed is still a good 50 seconds away though, so that is really the essential part of this puzzle. The Stalkers do need to be careful not to get surrounded though, because if that surround comes down, it will be very good news indeed for the lovely Bling, or whoever's playing on Bling's account. Now, obviously this is a lot of aggression, and this sort of aggression can be very potent until, of course, the sentry number starts getting higher. 2 sentries, they can hold this for a long time. The gas is looking nice with 2 gas up already. I believe there's 3 mining from each gas. Yes, there are. If we look at the vision available to these 2 players, no scouting gone down recently. Meanwhile, obviously the 3rd base has been scouted out by Hose, and not much else. No idea on the gas timings. We've got the evolution chamber, Roach 1, the 2nd gas coming down as well. Now, no 3rd gas yet. These rocket getting taken out. Speed finished importantly. Meanwhile, +1 on the way for the Protoss player. It's everything and you would want at this point. 3rd and 4th gas, robotics facility. Really nice rounded army, to be honest. With these 2 sentries out, you can have a nice time defending pretty much anything. The Zerglings, though, are going to start coming up. Are they going to go for any aggression? We'll wait and see. The War Prism, though, is on the cards. This is saying sentry drop to me. There is this Overlord. This Overlord critical. It may spot it coming in. Also, you could get the sentries come down this way. This Overlord scouting could do with one a bit further across just to keep a good eye out and a good solid check of everything that could be happening. Meanwhile, pylons coming down to the edge of the base, just keeping a good eye for vision in case there's anything like a Nidus coming down. 3rd and 4th sentry there as well, so all the warpins going very, very nicely for the moment. We've got the 3rd and 4th gateway on its way as well, so everything really all coming together nicely. The Twilight Council, but here comes the sentries. Is there anything en route to spot it? No is the simple answer. The Zerglings are pulling back. They're in a more defensive position because they're seeing they can't come up into here for the time being. The 3rd base timing is the other important thing. Not getting scouted at the moment. These Zerglings running around, but this War Prism coming right down the edge of the map is almost certainly not going to get spotted, as I imagine it'll come straight in here and drop those sentries down in this sort of position. They'll drop off 2 force fields and try and pick off as many of those drones as possible. Meanwhile, though, Lair is on its way. We've got this extra queen just for spreading the creep. That is all good news. That other queen pulling back, and of course this War Prism gone completely undetected for the time being. It's running in. It is trying to get through. Is it going to be able to do much damage? The answer should be yes, but of course, where are all the Zerglings? They're in the center of the map, so that will take some time to pull back, and they're moving forward as well. The warping coming down as well. A good number of zealots there, and well, any minute now. Great reactions though from the Zerg player, pulling those drones back ASAP. We have a good number of Zerglings coming through, but of course, very, very tight chokes can be made with the use of the force fields. There's so much energy on these sentries as well. And here they go. One sentry getting a little bit caught out of position though, and you don't want to be losing those. Great pickup micro though, allowing it to get in exactly where it needs to be. The rest of these Zerglings are getting taken down pretty easily by the sentries. The force fields are now ending up though. More force fields coming down, protecting these sentries perfectly. The Zealots are going to engage incredibly well against these Zerglings in such a tight choke position. The Queen's in on the action though. Drones even in, trying their hardest to deal with these Zealots, and just so much damage being done here. It is relentless assault on the Zerg player, and basically this is good news. The important thing though, War Prism is dead, so there is no escape for the time being. The Queens are managing to micro back. We do have the drones being pulled, trying to deal with the sentries as fast as possible. The Zealot in a very, very tight choke point, allowing it to engage against these Zerglings very, very cost effectively. One sentry more does fall. There's only one Zealot and one sentry remaining, and if we look at the loss tab, it came off slightly worse for the Zerg player compared, but the important thing is the number of workers killed. 11 workers dead. That does put the Zerg player 11 workers behind that of the Protoss. So that is good news. Meanwhile, behind this, the third base is on its way up for the Red Protoss player. We do have Blink being researched, we have Immortals on their way out, we have 5 warp gates, and now a couple of extra pylons coming down just to complete this wall off, so any aggression will be thwarted before it even materializes. Meanwhile, the infestation pit on the in the back of the base for whoever is playing on Blink's account. We've got the 5th and 6th gas coming down, the macro hatchery as well. All of these pieces of the puzzle coming together very nicely. Additional 3 gateways coming down at the third base. The Nexus half done. Just taking a quick look. What vision have we got? Do we know this base is down yet? No, but now of course this critical scout coming down for the Zerg player. Absolutely crucial here, because this timing is absolutely essential to really deal with it appropriately, because your 2 choices are you can take this 4th base ASAP as Zerg, or you can put on some aggression. 9 infestors on their way out, potentially suggesting that the aggression route might be the preferred method. 16 more Zerglings. Dark Shrine coming down as well. Of course, this is important not only because it allows DTs to come in when there is not any detection around anywhere, but it also means that you get the option of Archons. Of course, that is part of the late game composition you need to deal with Broodlord Infestor. So all the pieces are slotting in very, very nicely here. The 4th base just getting started, so a bit of aggression and expansion as well. These rocks getting taken down, a good number of units on the field already for both players. These 4 Immortals, very, very strong against roaches, but of course, as we're seeing here, the roach number is not existent. There is no roaches on the field at all. Pure Zergling, which is the right thing to deal with this composition. There's very, very few Zealots. This was all scouted out by by the Overlord, of course. So all the critical information has been found. We've got Hive coming down, of course, this Observer getting all the information needed. We do have these Zerglings moving across the map as well. The Watchtower being held by a Zealot, so will get scouted very nicely. Good little wall off here, very, very tight choke, which can be defended incredibly easily. A War Prism coming down, but will get spotted by this Overlord. Now, is the Zerg player going to react to that? We will wait and see, but for the moment, nothing getting pulled out of the way. This single War Prism is going to start morphing stuff in, waiting for it, but in come all the Zerglings. They are being pulled back ASAP. The Infestors there as well, so this drop play is not going to be able to do very much at all. 3 DTs. Oh my goodness, the DTs, there's no detection here. Oh, there it goes. Detection just in time with that Spore Crawler. Nothing was scouted at the back though, so of course they could potentially do huge amounts of damage. Infestors though, with fungal growth, will reveal them. That is the bad times, but in come the DTs. Are we going to see a quick little fungal? No is the answer for the moment. You've got to be careful not to lose Infestors to DTs. That would be pretty bad times, and as we can see, the DTs are just running around pretty much everywhere. 1 DT does get fungled, so he gets spotted, but 2 more on their way across. No detection at the 3rd base. No detection at the natural base either. This is going to be so frustrating to deal with. These few DTs are going to do so much damage. Meanwhile, a big push of units swelling through. This is multitasking to the max, and really you've got to react to all of this. DTs going to town in the natural. The 4th base is going to get taken out fairly quickly. There's no units here to try and defend it. Just these units at the natural trying to get dealt with. The DT in the natural is now going to get taken out, but of course the loss of the 3rd base for 2 DTs, I'd say that is a pretty effective trade for the Protoss player here. Meanwhile though, we've got more units streaming across, we've got more aggression on its way through, and well, it's all pretty tough to deal with. There's the Queen getting taken down. This DT still somehow survived with 1 HP. That is great, great news. 2 Overseers are morphing, but there's another DT in the main base being very, very irritating. The Spore Crawler is there, though. Needs to be careful not to get too close. Just Zerglings getting taken out. That 1 DT still survives. Gets fungal, though. That will be the end of it, almost certainly. There we go. Boom, 1 dead DT there. Another dead DT up here. But great containment going on by the Protoss player, who's morphing in some Archons. Just happily mining from 3 bases, very, very comfortably, got good income all around. This War Prism coming back in. What's in here? Oh my goodness, it's an Immortal. Is this single Infestor going to do much damage? No, but all of those Zerglings and remaining Infestors will. But of course, that's pulling back the Zerg army, allowing the Protoss player to come in to the 3rd base, and this is where the critical damage could be done very, very quickly indeed. As we can see, huge amounts of units swelling through. The Zerglings trying to get into a good position, but Force Fields go off exactly when they need to go down, but it's a big commitment by the Protoss player at the moment because, well, he can't escape from this. Infested Terran eggs are coming down. A good blink forward, trying to pick off those Infestors ASAP. The more Infested Terrans are on the way. It's a beach ball party, and there is not much that the Protoss player can do about this without any area of effect splash damage. So, well, this is looking pretty tough, but of course, with just Infestors, some of them are getting trapped by those force fields. The Infested Terrans are getting taken out, and there is the GG out of what may be Bling, what may be Symbol. I just don't know. If anyone knows for sure, let me know. Also, let me know in the comment section what do you think of my new layout, and with that picture there and just fiddling everything left, right and centre. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you did enjoy. I'll catch you tomorrow for yet another new cast. Bye for now.